So welcome into the latest edition of the GVT Football Review Show. I'm your host, Gunnar, and as always, it is a pleasure to have you here with me. And so today we'll be taking a deep dive at Wednesday's action of the UEFA Champions League as the halfway stage of this season's group stages of the competition reaches its conclusion. And it was thoroughly entertaining and thrilling as always. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump straight into today's video. And we'll start off in Turkey, where Istanbul Besiktas recorded a 2-1 victory over Manchester United, with more questions and concerns growing around the Norwegian Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as his job or his seat at the club gets hotter by the minute. Now, it was a poor performance from Manchester United all night long. There was a lack of organization, there was a lack of leadership, there was just no enthusiasm, and there was no passion by the club or the players on the pitch that day. And there are a lot of reasons or a lot of explanations as to what went wrong for Manchester United, but if you ask me, it was wrong team selection, it was the wrong substitutions yet again by the manager, and there was just no awareness, there was no tactical discipline, there was no, as I said, organization within this club. Now, Manchester United was one of their worst defensive performances this season, and they've had a couple of those, believe me, but this one is definitely up there as one of their worst defensive performances or showings this season. For the first goal, it almost looked like Manchester United in the 12th minute had sent all their players up front in a situation that looked like they were trying to get an equalizer in the 90th minute. There was no one at the halfway line that Dembaba definitely took advantage of. He kept his position, and when Besiktas won the ball from, well, a terrible corner kick organization play from Manchester United. One Besiktas Istanbul player played the ball over the top. Dembaba was clean on goal through one-on-one with Dean Henderson, and he put them 1-0 up. And then for the second goal, the Manchester United defense was left on the wrong side of the box, leaving the Istanbul captain with all the space to blast the ball into the back of the net to make it 2-0. And well, of course, Manchester United managed to get one back before the halftime break, and you thought to yourself that, all right, Manchester United have drawn the last blood in this before halftime, and they will come out with definitely more momentum. But there was actually nothing from Manchester United. They never really looked like scoring. For all the ball possession that they had, they just did not look like scoring. And there are plenty of reasons for Manchester United's poor performance on the night. But if you were to ask me, it's a lack of organization, a lack of tactical discipline. Most of those players just did not turn up that night, which is disappointing. And then the manager himself did not set up the team in the way that it's supposed to be set up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for some time now, has gotten the wrong team selection. He has sent out the wrong team onto the football pitch, the wrong substitutions yet again, and it's costed him. And I wonder whether the Manchester United coach sometimes looks to himself and wonders, why am I taking out this player and why am I bringing in this sort of player? Solskjaer is in a position whereby he has all these superstars and he wants to play all these superstars on the same pitch on the same day, which is just not necessary. It's just not necessary. And this is their fourth loss in 7 games so far this season, and this is not a record that Manchester United fans really want to know or really want to hear about, and this is not a situation that Manchester United should be in for a club as big as themselves. And again, it comes back to the manager the boss who sets the team up. Manchester United has had various tactical formations this season already. You've had a back four, a back three. You've had a midfield, a diamond midfield. You've played with a 4-2-3-1, and there's just no foundation to this Manchester United system at all. And it is costing them. Most of these players just do not know what is going on. Paul Pogba was asked after the Arsenal game, how do you go from that impressive win against RB Leipzig at home in the UEFA Champions League 5-0 and then come against Arsenal and then just have nothing to show at all, nothing impressive, no positives? And his answer, I don't know. have no idea at all. The players don't know where the problem is. The manager himself does not know where the problem is. And Manchester United find themselves in a situation where, well, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it is worse because you are the boss. When the results are not on the table, it always comes back to him. And of course, he is partly to blame. But the blame has to go also on those players on the football pitch. They need to pull their stockings up. They need to turn up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to talk to them. Whether he needs to point out their deficiencies and tell them that they are going to get themselves sacked, and it is not the picture that Manchester United is all about. But they go up against Everton up next, a pretty tough fixture. How they perform in that game, we really don't know, because that's been the case for Manchester United this whole season. Inconsistency. We all thought that they turned the corner after beating Newcastle 4-1, RB Leipzig victory, the victory over PSG in France, but all that just seems to be out the window now because there's just no concrete or foundational play to this Manchester United side, and just when you think they're getting momentum, they just break your hopes, they just break your hearts, and really can't tell what's going to happen against Everton. But more questions. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to find solutions, or he's going to find himself in a situation that he really does not want to be in. But for Istanbul Besiktas, that is a wonderful victory over Manchester United, and maybe they can actually build on for that, because their group is now blown wide open as PSG lashed to RB Leipzig by 2-1 with 2 red cards, and Angel Di Maria failed to make it 2-0 earlier on after he missed his penalty. And of course, Nkunku and Froibag from the penalty spot made it 2-1. And well, PSG had their deficiencies up front. There was no Kylian Mbappe, no Neymar, Ondomaro, Icardi. And of course, that can be an excuse because those are the best players at the club. But you still have plenty of talent all around. You have the likes of Di Maria, you have the likes of Moise Kean, who's been a revelation. And Thomas Tuchel really... It's been a wanting performance from PSG so far this season in the UEFA Champions League. They've just not turned up. They lost at home against Manchester United, and then this one. And if they're not careful, they could actually find themselves in the Europa League position, or in the Europa League, if they not pull up their socks and if they not put in the performances that need to be put in. And it is all down to the manager, how he sets up his team. He'll be hoping that by the time the international break is over and the UEFA Champions League comes back, at least some of his superstars will be back in the likes of Kylian Mbappe, maybe Neymar as well. But PSG and Thomas Tuchel need to find a way of getting themselves out of this rut, and you could say that they're almost in a similar position as Manchester United. But RB Leipzig, wonderful victory for them, wonderful comeback from the 5-0 thrashing against Manchester United, and well, now they can try to build on from that and perhaps find themselves in a strong position to qualify from the group stages. And now we had FC Barcelona taking on Dynamo Kyiv with Lionel Messi from the penalty spot, scoring his 5th penalty of the season. So far, he scored only penalties for Barcelona. And of course, Piqué getting the 2nd goal before Dynamo Kyiv came in and got and made it 2-1. On the night, well, you could say FC Barcelona had plenty of chances to... Actually, it could have been 5-1, could have been 4-1, but they missed a lot of chances as well. Griezmann had a really good chance whereby there was no goalkeeper with a goal escaping right in front of him, and he missed the sitter. Something that we're not actually used to of Antoine Griezmann, and you could say he's going through a period right now whereby he's just unstable. He just doesn't know. He's not in the best of form right now. We could say that's the best description I could say. But FC Barcelona had plenty of chances to win it. They deserve to win it. Dynamo Kyiv, in their own sense, they took the game to FC Barcelona. Ter Stegen had to pull off plenty of wonderful saves to keep FC Barcelona in the game and make sure that they go out with all 3 points. And this is actually a wonderful victory for Ronald Koeman, who comes off that draw in La Liga, whereby a lot of questions were being asked yet again. They've had a poor start to the La Liga season, but so far in the UEFA Champions League, it's 3 wins out of 3 at the halfway stage. They have a perfect record. So at least in the UEFA Champions League, Ronald Koeman is doing something right, but he needs to replicate that in La Liga as well. Or else, we all know what FC Barcelona are all about. They want to be firing on all fronts, and if you don't fire on one front, I think Ernesto Valverde can be a perfect example of that. He had helped FC Barcelona qualify from the group stage into the knockout rounds, but it was just not getting the results in La Liga, and that ended up to him being fired. So Ronald Koeman needs to find the balance between all the competitions that he is involved in. And then Juventus got that 4-1 victory over Ferencváros. Cristiano Ronaldo making his first appearance in the UEFA Champions League this season. He did not get on the score sheet, but he was largely active for most of the game. And he also had an assist, assisting Morata, who scored 2 goals on the night. And Paulo Dybala coming off the bench. Paulo Dybala has had a pretty tough period, a pretty tough start to the season, and it really just hasn't looked like the Dybala of old. But getting a goal and being the instigator for that 4th goal, which was an own goal, will definitely give him a confidence boost and maybe kickstart his season, I should say. And for any forward, as long as you get that first goal of the season, that is one of the most important goals of the season, because then you grow on from that, you gain the confidence. And again, with Ronaldo in this side, as I said earlier on in my previous videos, you have one of the greatest players of all time on the football pitch, someone who demands a lot from his teammates. And you could see that in that game, Ronaldo was demanding a lot from his teammates. You could see Morata wanted to be the perfect partner for Cristiano Ronaldo, was getting himself into good positions, trying to get Ronaldo into good positions as well, so that they can get the ball to him. And you could find that the midfield was mashing. The midfield mashed all together, and it was a wonderful performance from Juventus, who on the front foot from the get-go. They never looked like they seized. They were just go from the first minute up to the 90th minute. Ronaldo really wanted his goal, could not get his goal, but perfect outing, perfect performance from Juventus, and exactly what Andrea Pirlo would have wanted from his team. For Ferencváros, well, you go up against one of the best teams in Europe, then if you don't bring your A game, that is exactly what happens. And then Sevilla got that 3-2 victory over Krasnodar. In fact, they had to come from 2 goals down and with a red card to get that victory. Jesus Navas was sent off after, well, cutting off one forward in a clear-cut opportunity, and he had to be sent off at the break with Krasnodar 2-0 up. And of course, in the second half, Rakitic came in. He had a wonderful header that went in before Yusuf El Nassouri came in and scored 2 quick goals to give them all the 3 points. And well, at least Sevilla saved themselves. They saved themselves from an embarrassment and an absolute shock in European football. But this is exactly what champions are made of. These are the Europa League champions, the team that has managed to master Europa League action. And it's about time. It's about time that they turned up in the UEFA Champions League. Just how far can they go this season will be interesting to witness. Chelsea got a 3-0 victory over Stade Rennes. A pretty impressive victory. Timo Werner on the double from the spot kick, 2 penalty kicks, and then of course Tammy Abraham getting a goal. And Edouard Mendy is in some pretty elite company at the moment. From his first 7 Chelsea games, he's kept 6 clean sheets, the same as Peter Cech, legendary goalkeeper of Chelsea. So Frank Lampard must be enjoying himself, must be smiling from ear to ear, knowing that he has a goalkeeper who can keep the ball out of the net. And I'm someone who can actually rely on. Thiago Silva looks comfortable. The defense now looks comfortable knowing that they have someone who can put the ball out of the net. And Thiago Silva, after that, horrendous debut for Chelsea, looks to be exactly why Chelsea went out to sign him and why Lampard wanted the veteran at his club. He's definitely setting up the shape, the formation of that Chelsea defense in a way that, they are repelling everything they have. They've now clipped 5 clean sheets in a row now. After that, all the criticism, questions that Chelsea had of, can they keep a clean sheet? They're good going forward, but can they keep a clean sheet? Right now, they're doing all of that. They are scoring the goals. Their new men are hitting the goals. Timo Werner is now catching into his stride. Then you have Edouard Mendy and a defense that's doing their job. So Frank Lampard is enjoying himself and he's loving life right now as a Chelsea manager. Then Borussia Dortmund defeated Club Brugge by 3-0. Erling Haaland yet again on the score sheet, 2 goals, and Torgan Hazard also on the score sheet. Wonderful performance. Borussia Dortmund, well, the youngsters are firing. It seems German teams this season know exactly what they want. Borussia Mönchengladbach 6-0, Bayern Munich 6-2, Borussia Dortmund 3-0. German teams are enjoying themselves this UEFA Champions League season, and for Borussia Dortmund, a wonderful victory. So that's that for the UEFA Champions League match day 3. We won't be back until November 24th as the international break looms just next week. So until then, there'll be no European action, but we still have league action, club football coming up this weekend, and we have some big games as Manchester United take on Everton and Manchester City take on Liverpool in the Premier League. But that's a story for another day. For now, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all pretty soon.